Spencer Lazara, MMAinterviews.tv, alongside a legend and a friend, a great man, Mr. Bas Rutten. Always a pleasure to see you, sir. Having a fun night here. We're out for the Glory kickboxing fights. You enjoying yourself?
I really do. You know, I have to really say that I'm super amazed with the talent that they have here. I'm rooting for Eddie Showtime. That guy's phenomenal, man. I saw him, and he won his first fight on decision, but then he knocked the other guy out. I think we're going to hear a lot from this guy.
Yeah, he's got definitely a big overhand right hand. I'm sure that's what he's going to try to use here in the final. Casey Green, though, guy that trains up with your gym a lot, came and performed very well tonight. Must have been happy with his performance. I, like you, I think, thought he won.
I thought he won, too. Casey's a mixed martial artist, a really good one. You know, if he puts his head together, he really going to be up with the main big guys because he's really that good. He just did Thai boxing for fun. And I truly believe he won. But what happened was his opponent threw him every time. And then at the end of round number 2, they said that throwing was illegal. And when you have judges like Jean LaBelle here who like throwing because it's judo Jean LaBelle, I think they kind of counted the throws, didn't realize it was illegal, and that's why he won.
And talk about, I know you've had a little bit of health issues recently. You went to a surgery and have another one on the horizon. Talk to us about what's going on there.
You know, I'm doing great. I had a really good surgeon in my hometown. Just a little cut here. You know, my range of motion. I mean, I could do the same before I had the surgery, and it's a 3-disc fusion. So normally you would think that it really will stop your range of motion, but it doesn't. And it was crazy. After a week and a half, I felt like it never happened. And I stopped wearing the brace, which I shouldn't. He told me to wear it a month, but I wear it at night just to make sure.
And I saw you posted something about a road rage situation too. Were you in the brace at the time?
No, I wasn't. He was just very dumb. His rage was more towards another guy in front of me, and I think he tried to mess with him. And then when I came by, he flipped me off, and I look at him and I go, and that's what I always do. When people flip me off, I go like this. And then they get really angry. That's why I do it. So he goes, "Get out of the car, man. You want to get it on?" And I go, "Oh, okay." So I stopped my car, got out, and he saw me getting out, and I saw him going, and he stayed in the car, and he tried to come up with all these excuses. I said, "Dude, you were wrong. I was right. Why would you flip me up? Just go. Just go. Do not do anything." And he went.
Pretty awesome situation to get out, have a guy like this staring at you. We'll talk about UFC 156. I want your thoughts on Overeem versus Bigfoot.
Well, I said it on Inside MMA, and everybody, you know, when I say somebody has a glass jaw, I don't say it because I don't like him. I will never say something because I don't like the guy, because if I'm wrong, it's going to make me look like a dumbass, and I don't want to be a dumbass, so I would never do that. But in between 2005 and 2007, the whole world was saying that he had a glass jaw. I didn't forget that. And Golden Glory, they changed his weight. He became a heavyweight, and then he started fighting with always one hand at the jaw. He would never throw a combination. Go through all his fights, he would never throw a combination. He would go through the K1, win the K1, but he would never leave his jaw. And now he gets into this fight, and I think that his sparring partners were not up to par like they are in Holland, because as Gokhan Saki, he will beat him up, you know, when training. And when you don't have a guy who beats you up, you don't stay on your toes. And you start getting relaxed, and you go, "Hey, wait a minute, I can throw combinations." And I think he forgot that, and that puts him back in place. And listen, man, he got knocked out a lot of times, but he came back from that. So I always say if he can do it once, he can probably do it again. So if he just finds his right sparring partners, he's going to be okay.
As far as the jaw goes, I thought, I mean, hey, if Bigfoot hits you that hard, you're probably going to go down. that many times. But didn't you think the problem was the gas tank? I thought more.
The gas tank also, and you know what? There's also, and Rashad, I'm a big Rashad fan, and everybody can always see this in every interview, but he had the same problem. You know, he wasn't going for the takedowns. And with Overeem also, at the beginning of the round, I think when they came in, they clashed heads. I think that already did something to him, because then when Bigfoot hit him with a short right, he was when Overeem throws the knee, he's already out. You can tell he is already out. He throws the big left hand, he misses it. He was already out there, you know. And then when Bigfoot saw that, then he started aiming for his shots. And Bigfoot, man, it's Bigfoot. I mean, this guy can hit. He stopped Travis Brown, who never lost before and won a lot of fights by knockout, and he stopped Fedor. You know, so I think to underestimate a guy like that, it's a very dumb thing to do.
He can beat anybody on any given night, I would say.
That's it. It's really it, because he's that guy, you know. And Bigfoot, you cannot help to root for him, because he's got a great family, always tells he loves his wife in interviews. You know, I love guys like that.
And we have UFC 157 coming up. Dan Henderson's an old school guy. Do you tend to root, I asked him this question, do you tend to root for kind of those old school guys who are still competing?
100%. And Dan, I always told everybody, Dan is the man's man. Like any guy on the planet, they love Dan, because Dan's got a lot of heart, and he always comes to a fight. Yeah, I always get emotional, because he's really that guy. And that's why I wanted to see him win. And I think that Dan has really the chance, because he knows when he lands the H-bomb, everybody knows it, it's going to be a good night, you know. And I know Machida, I'm going to get a lot of heat now. Machida doesn't have a lot of weapons, but whatever he does really well. He's got great distance, he got great accuracy, but his attack is always the same. It's a cross hook, a cross, or a kick and a cross hook and a cross. Yeah, and he always, when you push him, he always moves to the same side. So if Dan would look at that and just bull rushes him, he knows he's going to end him up there. Just throw a big hand there, and that could stop him.
Kind of like the Bisping fight, I guess. And then Ronda Rousey, obviously a big fight for women's MMA.
Ronda is, you know, who doesn't like Ronda? Ronda is a girl who's beautiful. She's better looking than the ring girls. And then on top of that, she can really fight. And she has a mouth on her that every guy really wants it. Whatever she says, we want to say. But it's politically a little bit incorrect, but she says it. And that's why we love her. You know, she doesn't care. And there's no way. I always want to see her win, because in my book, she's the best.
You're a guy who's a champion. Do you see that champion in her? I mean, there are obviously a select few guys who, there's a lot of champions actually, but really the select few that are even more driven, the most driven champions. Do you see that in her?
You know, the last time when she fought, she moved forward and she threw 3 jabs, and they all hit target. And her foot setting was open, close, open, close, open, close. I see that in a moment, because that's my eye. I always look at that. And that means that's perfect footwork. She did a really freaking good job. And I think now, with all the time she had, she's going to dominate. I think as a striker, she'll be really good. I think she has she told me afterwards, because I asked her, I said, how your footwork was crazy. She says, I was training with my instructor, boxing instructor, and we did for a year and a half only footwork. You know, so when I saw that, and I said on Inside MMA later, I asked her, I knew that had to be true. 2 weeks ago, I was driving to Santa Barbara. I called my buddy, her manager, and a girl picked up. And I go like, who is this? And she starts speaking Dutch. I go, what, Loes? And she goes, yeah. I go, look, and it's Lucia Rijker. Now, Lucia Rijker, I don't know if you know, is the best female boxer ever, best female kickboxer ever, never lost against a woman. You know, because she even fought men. High knockout percentage. I mean, even Ali didn't want to fight her. Christy Martin didn't want to fight her, because she's an animal. And she picked up the phone because he was there with Ronda training, and she's helping Ronda out with her striking as well. And I think that once that happens, it's magic. You know, you got the best striker in the world fighting the best submission girl in the world. That combination is, gold.
Do you feel like for women, without the lack of knockout power, comparing to the men's really gives Ronda a distinct advantage as well, considering she's such a better grappler than these girls. So being the best grappler is sort of better than being the best striker, so to speak, in the women's game.
I know, but I guarantee you she's going to knock people out, because I hear people who spar with her, and they say, my God, she hits so hard, and you can tell she's an athlete. And the way she is built, if you look at my daughter used to take private classes with her the way back when she was not super. My daughter actually has her walkout gi because Ronda gave it to her. My daughter's 11 years old, and when you see her, she's got abs. She's like me, only she's a girl. It's a little freak, because everywhere we go, we go to volleyball. After every time when I go to a new sport, always the coach says, "Is that your daughter?" "Yeah." "Oh my God," you know. And I go, "Yeah, she's crazy, right?" Fuck, she's packed. She got a lot of muscle, and Ronda has that too, and she picks up things fast. So now what you said, if we combine it with great people, she's gonna knock out people. You watch.
Okay, can't wait to see it. She is an Olympian. This man, Bas Rutten, check him out Inside MMA on Access TV every week. And we wish you a speedy recovery, and you can close us out.
All right, like El Guapo used to say, buena suerte, it is fruta de la fiesta, and that means, in English, Godspeed and party on. Whoop, whoop.